let's have a look at what's new in Canva. I have 10 new features you probably don't know about, and in this video, I'm gonna break them all down for you. Let's go. Hey, what's up everyone? Ronny here. Welcome back to our channel. This is episode 35 of What's Hot in Canva, and I have a bunch of new features to tell you about. So without further ado, let's start with the first new feature. First thing that's new is that users can now upload Lottie files directly into Canva. So for those of you who don't know yet what Lottie files or Lotties are all about, Lotties is that new format for animation. It presents two major advantages over other styles, other formats of animations like GIF, for example, is that Lotties are one, lighter, and two, they are of higher quality because they are vectors. All right, so that means if you stretch a Lottie file, it won't lose in quality. And because the format is lighter, it means it won't slow down your Canva designs or your Canva presentation. So that is the two major advantages. Now, let's have a look at where we can find Lotties and how you can import them into Canva. So for those of you who remember last week's episode where I told you about the Lottie file app in Canva that you can find by using the apps button in Canva right here, and then if you search for Lottie files, so there you go, you will find the app right here, the Lottie app. I'm not talking about importing Lotties using this app. I'm talking about finding them elsewhere. So for example, you could find them in Lottie files libraries that you might find online. A popular one is the Lottie files website itself. So let's have a look at the Lottie files website. This is how it looks like when you are logged in. Okay, I am logged in, as you can see with the little profile picture here. So one of the things I want to show you, and one of the interests, I would say, the use cases for downloading a specific animation from the website and then having this file that you want to import into Canva, upload into Canva. A use case for that is that, let's say you didn't find the animation you were looking for in the Lottie files app. And so you come here and you see here, you can create an animation. So if I click here, it opens this panel right here, which is kind of like an editor to create animations. And you can quickly, by using the side buttons here, you can quickly create an animation. So if I use this rocket right here, that would look nice for promoting our YouTube membership, which uses this visual a lot. So if I import that and then simply play the animation, you would see that this is the animation. It's about 4 seconds and it's just that rocket just taking off and the fire showing underneath, and then it looks like it's flying. It's about 4 seconds long. Okay, so if I am at the 4-second mark, this is where the animation stops. So let's say you like that. So you can click on export from here, and this will export your Lottie into your Lottie file workspace. So I can write rocket right here. I will store that in Ron's project. Okay, save. All right, so now this animation is kept under my Lottie files. Great. Now, if I come back to my project right here, I can see that my rocket is right here, waiting for me to be used. So this is where the magic happens. You can click on the 3 little dots here and download your animation. So I'm going to click on download as. I'm going to be presented with a couple of options. Just be aware that the format that is accepted by Canva is the .json format for Lottie files, okay? So Lottie files, there is no .lottie format, or at least that's not the format that Canva is accepting. The supported format is .json, this first format right here. So I'm going to click on download. Okay, download started. So this is probably now in my download folder. So now I can come back to Canva, go to my uploads tab right here, use the upload button, downloads, and find my rocket, which is this one right here, open. Now it's going to be uploading nicely right here into Canva. And if I click on it, it will be immediately added to my design. And you see, I can stretch this I don't lose in the quality of that rocket. I make it super big and still super crisp. That is because Lottie files are vectorized files. So we can stretch them as much as we want and we won't lose in quality. So I'm gonna reduce its size, position it here. So that is one way you can import your Lotties, like create them on the Lottie file website and then download them as JSON and then import that into Canva, upload that into Canva. Now, let me show you another place where you can find Lotties, download them in order to import into Canva. The second website I want to show you is this one right here. It is still from the same family, from the Lottie files family. It's called Icon Scout, okay? So this one is a library where you can search and discover over 8 million design assets. So we are talking about SVGs, vectors, illustration, 3D graphics, and Lottie animations. You see here it says Lottie animations. So for example, if I'm looking for something related to YouTube, let's say I'm looking for a YouTube subscribe button. Just gonna type in YouTube subscribe in the search box right here. And then I'm going to be presented with a bunch of different asset types. Okay, so here I am on the All Assets tab, but what I want is the Lottie animations only. So I can filter by clicking on Lottie animations. And you see all of these Lottie animation for a YouTube subscribe button. Now, not all of them are going to be free to use, okay? So what I would recommend, if you don't have a paid account for Icon Scout, which I don't, would be to filter. If you see here in the left side column, you have a price section. So just click on free, and then now everything that you see should be available for you to download. So if you like the first button right here, for example, you can click on the little arrow and you should be able to download in the Lottie JSON format. So I'm going to click here. Okay, it is downloaded. So now I can come back to my Canva document, click on upload file, and right here should be this little guy right here. It's uploading. So that's a good news. My Lottie is working. It is uploading here. Let's wait for it to be completely uploaded, and then I can add it to my document as well. And there you go. I have my two animations that are Lottie files, so I can stretch them. I can make that as big as I want. So as you can see, this could be super useful for any type of animation really, because this Icon Scout or Lottie file website will really allow you to create all sorts of animations that will look great on all of your Canva designs. So kudos to that new integration, that new supported type file, the JSON type file, and I think it's high time we move on to the second new feature. The second new feature has to do with gradients. You can now create and save your gradients from wherever you can edit your brand kit. All right, so there are a couple of different places in Canva where you can tweak, edit your brand kit or your different brand kits, plural. So let me show you a couple of those. The first place, obviously, is from the Canva homepage and from the brand item right here in the left side menu. So first, you need to locate that brand item. So I'm going to click on it. From here, because I am a Canva Pro user, you can see all of my different brand kits. Okay, we can have up to 300 or 100 brand kits. Don't remember exactly, but I've never seen anyone reach their limit of brand kits in Canva. So for the sake of this demonstration, I'm going to be using Ronny's brand kit. Okay, so I don't mess up my teammates' brand kits. So this is my personal brand kit. And as you can see, I have two different color palettes. I have Ronny's palette and I have Canva's secondary palette. So what I'm going to do is to simply add a new color palette, okay, by clicking on the Add New button right here. Add a palette, okay, and doesn't matter, I'm going to create a custom palette. So this is going to be where I can create a couple of gradients and save these in my brand kit, which is important. So I'm going to start by renaming this by Ronny's gradients. Okay, and I'm going to click on the first one right here and start creating my gradients. So once you click on that plus button, you will have this window popping up. All right, so make sure you move to the second tab right here that says gradient. So I'm going to do so right now. Select the first color, and that first color, I would like it to be my yellow right here. So I'm going to come back here, copy the Xcode of my first color, my yellow color, and then come back and paste it. And the second color, I'm just going to make that white. Okay, so now I have a variety of kind of like yellow to white gradients, and all you need to do is to simply select the right one. So I'm going to go for the third one right here. So if you click out, now you have your first gradient, and you can rename that gradient. So let's call this one yellow fade. Okay, that's my yellow fade. I'm going to do the same thing with the blue color here, which is my second, I would say, main color. Come back here, again, go to gradient, select the first one and paste that hex code right here. Again, I'm going to fit that to white like so. Now I have a second one. Maybe I can make it slightly different. I can make it a vertical gradient. Perfect. Now I can also rename this and call that blue fade. Like so. And so as you can see, you can create a variety of different gradients here. Let's create one last one, which is going to be a little bit more funky. I'm going to add a bit more colors here. I'm going to add these 3 colors, for example. All right. And I'm going to rename this directly from here. I'm going to rename that funky gradient. Okay. Oh, it didn't rename it. So funky one. It's not super on brand, but I just want to show you that you can create them from here. All right, so that is the first place where you can create your gradients. Now let me show you another way, and this time directly from within the Canva editor. So I am back to my presentation here. I'm going to click on my R key on my keyboard and create that little square right here. Now I want to use one of the gradients I just created in Ronny's brand kit inside that square right here, that yellow square. So I'm going to use the color button right here, and you see these are my 3 gradients. So if I click on this one, my gradient color will be applied to this element right here, which is super nice. So I told you you can also edit your brand kit from here. Well, very simply, again, you will need to be a pro user to access all of these colors in your brand kit. Free users have a very basic brand kit with only 3 colors. So you need to click on this little edit button right here next to your brand kit. And then similarly, you can just create a new gradient directly from here. I'm not going to do so, just showing you that this is where you can create your gradient. So this one doesn't look like any type of gradient, this one either, so I'm just going to delete it and keep these 2 that are kind of using my branded colors. So I'm happy with this. I can save my brand kit from here. Save your brand kit changes. Yes, save changes. So there you go. This is just a nice little UI tweak that you can now create gradients and save them to your brand kit from anywhere. You can edit your brand kit in Canva. Let's move on to the third new feature. The third novelty for today has to do with the tidy up feature in Canva. So let me show you where to find this feature. I have a couple of items right here that are kind of like misaligned on purpose. Okay, I just put them together on the page like so. There's no alignment whatsoever here. So what you want to do is to select them all and then use your position button, okay, right here, to find the tidy up button. So up to recently in Canva, when you would use the tidy up button, it would tidy up your elements, aligning them either vertically or horizontally, but it wouldn't really work in 2 dimensions, so the X and Y axis. It would just work on one of the 2. The novelty is that now the tidy up feature is 2-dimensional, meaning it will align them both on the Y and the X axis. So let's give it a try with these messy items right here, tidy up, and there you go. So now the result here is that everything is now aligned on this Y axis, the vertical axis, but also on the X axis, which is kind of like here. A little bit up, but also the distance between each of these elements has been adjusted so that it's equal between each of the 4 items. So that is a neat little alignment improvement that this tidy up button is going to be more and more useful, basically. So that's just a better tidy up button. So nothing groundbreaking here, but I surely appreciate these little improvements that Canva adds to the platform. All right, moving on to new feature number 4. New feature number 4 is actually an off-platform feature. It is the improvement, the V2 or the second version of the ChatGPT plugin made by Canva. So the Canva ChatGPT plugin. So in order to discover what's new there and how it works, let's head over ChatGPT. And before I start showing you how to use this plugin, so the Canva plugin in ChatGPT, let me give you a few heads up, because not everyone will be able to use the ChatGPT plugins. Indeed, you still need to be a ChatGPT Plus user or a paid ChatGPT user in order to be able to use their plugins, all right? And also, second heads up is that the Canva plugin is not a new plugin. What's new here is that they released a V2 or second version of that plugin, fixing a couple of bugs and improving the user experience while using the Canva plugin in ChatGPT. So that being said, the most important thing for you to know is that if you're not a paid ChatGPT user, you won't have access to this feature, to this plugin. Now, if you are, like I am right here, I'm using GPT-4, the way to activate it is first, you need to go to your settings right here and find your settings and beta right here. Okay, so under beta features, plugins, just make sure that the plugin tab or button is turned on. It needs to be green so that you can actually start using these plugins, not just the Canva plugin, all of ChatGPT's plugin. All right, so that's the first thing. Second thing, you need to head over this little drop down right here on the top of your screen that should say ChatGPT 4 and search for the plugin mode. Okay, so plugins, activate the plugins mode. It says no plugins installed. So click on the little arrow, and me, because I used Canva before, it's still here. So I'm gonna make sure it is activated in blue right here. All right, now it is activated. Now I can start prompting, okay? So here is my prompt. Help me design a logo for my pet food business. Okay, I'm just launching this with the Canva plugin activated right here. And you see that ChatGPT is using Canva. It says used Canva. Here are some logo templates from Canva that might be suitable for your pet food business. So it starts giving me and showing me, there's a link in this title right here, minimalistic line business logo. So it gives me a couple of Canva templates right here that I can visualize in ChatGPT directly. And I have a second one, brown and yellow creative kitchen logo. So far there's nothing really related to pets. So let's see if it shows me something better. Oh, this one is already better. So this one is called gold, black and white, playful pet treat food logo. And there's another one here, pink, gray, white illustration pet shop business logo. Okay, so that's not too bad. ChatGPT is just, it understands that it needs to search for specific templates in the Canva template library. And I love that I can visualize them directly from here, all right? And I imagine if I click through any of these, I will land into Canva and I can start tweaking any of these templates. So I like this one, the fourth one right here. I click here, what happens? I open the Canva document with this template. Okay, so I'm gonna come back here because what would really be great is that if ChatGPT could understand, this is the name of my business, please adapt the template so that it reflects the name of my business. So I'm gonna try that, though I don't have much hope that would work, but that would be awesome if we could get there in the next versions of this plugin. So if I give you my pet business name, and then I will give it right now, it's called Meowlicious. Can you adapt these templates so they reflect the name? Okay, I'm just chatting with the AI and see if it can help me do that. I can guide you on how to adapt these templates with your business name Meowlicious, but I can't directly edit or create images for you. Here's how you can do it. So they give me a breakdown on how to do it in Canva. Thank you very much. And it just doesn't do it for you so far. So yeah, this is, I mean, it's kind of like on the way there. It's not completely there yet. I don't remember exactly how the first version of this plugin looked. It was kind of similar. I don't remember if they gave you direct access or direct visualization from the ChatGPT window right here, the conversation. I guess like they now have improved access to the templates, maybe more templates. I am not sure, but this is on the right track, I would say, but not completely there yet. So yeah, not worth upgrading to ChatGPT Plus for this one plugin for sure. But I mean, ChatGPT Plus is so good that why not? All right, so that's my 2 cents on this new version of the Canva plugin for ChatGPT. Let's move on to the 5th new feature. The next new feature has to do with charts in Canva. And the novelty is that you can now expand your data window so that you have more space to work on your numbers, to work on your data. So let me show you what I mean by that. So I have a blank page right here, and I'm going to head over my elements right here, scroll down a bit until I see charts. I'm gonna go see all. I'm gonna find something with a lot of data. So let me choose the first graph right here, for example. Yep, and as you can see, this is my data. So I have a bunch of different data, a bunch of different columns, actually a lot of data here. And so it would be pretty uncomfortable to work on that data from this little side menu right here. I am pretty much using 1/5 of my screen real estate, and I'm limiting myself there. So the novelty is this button right here, expand data table. If I click here, this is what happens. And this is a genius idea, a genius improvement from Canva. Why limit yourself to such a small, narrow space to work on data spreadsheet if you could have it full screen, right? So this is exactly what they've done here with this little improvement. A simple improvement, but a life-changing improvement if you work on data visualization. Now you can really simply work from here. And this is a lot of data. Like usually you don't have that many columns when you work with a chart or bar chart or pie chart or whatever. But still, I mean, I'll take it. I'll take that extra screen real estate to comfortably work on my data. So again, simple little improvement, but it improves my quality of life as a data analyst, as a data visualization kind of guy. So yeah, well done, Canva. And by all means, guys, like all of these new features are available both on the mobile version of Canva, the desktop version of Canva, probably the iPad version of Canva, all of the different places where you can use Canva. And everything I've showed you so far was available for both Pro and free users. We have these little tags when we show you the name of the new features, so make sure you pay attention to these, because sometimes I forget to mention it. Like this video, I forgot to mention it for every single feature up until now, but let me reassure you that everything that I showed you today is available to all Canva users, so both free and pro. All right, continuing, since we are talking about charts, there is another new feature related to charts. It's called bar chart race, and this is a feature that used to be only available in Flourish, so the data visualization company that Canva acquired a couple of years ago. We do have tutorials on Flourish on the channel, so look them up if you are interested. But the bar chart race was kind of like one of the main highlights from Flourish, where you have these bar racing on your screen in a neat little animation. Well, the novelty is that these bar chart races are now available natively in Canva. So in order to find them, you need to go to your elements, come here under charts, there you go, find interactive charts. You can click on see all, and it's going to be the first one right here. If you click on the 3 little dots, bar chart race. All right, so I'm going to click here. So that's the same long table of data that I showed you in the previous feature. But now what I am interested in is not so much the fact that you can expand the data table, but to show you what a bar chart race is altogether. So let me click on play here so you can see what's going on. The data related to a number of items over time. You see here, we don't know exactly what these data represent, but it's just the evolution of item 1 to 12 over a period of time, okay? So this could be very interesting to show, for example, the importance of specific countries among the years, or the sales of specific products among the years, etc., etc. Doesn't really matter what your data is all about. What's important is that these are now natively available in Canva. And natively means you can do a bunch of different tweaks to them once they are on your page. You can change the color of these bars for one of your branded colors. So if you come here and change this to Team Ronny, I can use my famous pink right here. I can tweak the roundness of these bars. So I can make them super round like so, or not round at all, like straight angles right here. Let's go almost, like I like these rounded rectangles recently. I fell in love with them in Canva. So let's go 50. You can add more space between your rows right here. Let's keep them relatively large. You can change the font for your data, etc., etc. So you can see a bunch of different tweaks that can be done once you have your data set and your bar chart race already embedded in your document. And by all means, this is going to be a video. So if you export this or play this full screen, the video is going to play as well. I don't know if they autoplay if you export this as a website or a presentation, probably, but at least this is how they look in full screen view. So have a play with this. This is available to all Canva users on all different platforms. And moving on to new feature number 7 already, and this one is element timing in all of Canva's document types. All right, so let me recap, let me re-explain to you what element timing is. So for that, I am going to be using a blank page right here on my presentation. I need a few elements, okay? So I'm gonna get out of charts, go ahead with this little flying birdie right here, and maybe add a couple of shapes, okay? So I'm going to duplicate this shape 3 times, like so. All right, so element timing is a way to control when a specific element is going to be displayed on screen. Okay, so typically all the way to before this new improvement, element timing was only for video document types. So that would be all of your video formats, your presentation formats, but not particularly in everything else, like the other document types. So here, the novelty is that it now introduces element timing in all of Canva Doctypes. So let me show you how it works. So first of all, you need to access element timing from the contextual menu. So for that, you need to select an element. So let's click on the bird and click on the 3 little dots. What you're looking for is this show timing item on the menu. So click on that and you see what happens here is that you should have a new bar, like a new purple bar showing on your timeline on top of your existing slide. So I'm here, I am working on slide number 15. So what you see here is that element, and I can control by dragging the extremities of this element on my timeline. I can control when that element is going to appear on screen if I play the entire document as a video. All right, that kind of is what it is right here. So I'm going to reduce the duration of this. And if you want to switch your timeline to the video timeline, all you have to do is locate the duration button, click on it, and you should have a play button and a time indicator. You see this appeared when I clicked on duration. So there were no time indicator, no play button. Click on duration, play button, time indicator can be positioned wherever you click. All right, so now if I click and play slide number 15, which is 6 seconds, as you can see here at the bottom of the slide thumbnail right here, I'm going to play this and you see my bird is not here all the way to here where this purple shape that represents the bird appears. It starts right here, kind of like at the middle of my slide. And so that is element timing kicking in. Now I can stretch that to make the bird appear a little bit after playing that slide. That's how you control the timing of your elements. For example, I could time these 3 little squares showing on screen. So for that, again, contextual menu. So select your element, click on the 3 little dots, show timing. And there you go. Now I have my little timing right here. So I'm going to leave it all the way. This one right here now, hide timing, show timing. So the show timing, it remains activated even if I switch from one element to the other. Okay, so you see the first one right here, it's full, like it starts at the beginning. Second one, I reduced it to here. And now if I click on the third one, I can reduce it further. There you go. And now what should happen is that these three cubes will show one after the other. Let me play this entire slide. Back, the bird is coming, second and third. So there you go. This is a simple way of controlling the timing of your elements on a design. And the novelty, again, is that it is now available in every single document type. So if I come over this other Canva document type, which is a squared, what is that? This is an Instagram post, or that's a logo. Okay, that's the logo that was generated by ChatGPT. So I have the same bird flying, fly away birdie. So that's two different elements here. All right, so what I'm going to do is that I'm going to click on that bird, click on the three little dots, show timing, and I need to expand my timeline. If you don't see the duration button, if you don't see timeline, click here, make sure you click here. And now you should have everything that you need. Your duration button, time indicator, the bird element representation right here. I reduced it to about half of the slide. So when I play it now, it should start showing about half of my slide. So half of the 5.3 seconds. So there you go. Different element, different document type still works, proving that element timing is now available on every single Canva document type. Moving on to new feature number 8. We have 3 more to go, so don't you go anywhere. And this one has to do with the Mockup app, all right? It's called Mockup Adjustments Editor and Smart Crop. This is pretty much Canva giving us some extra oomph for the Mockup app, all right? Some extra controls, some extra functionalities, things that we can change within the Mockup app. So let me show you what I mean by that and what the novelties are. So let's head over the apps button, all right? And search for Mockup, Mockups. There you go. The Mockups app is this one right here. So click on that. It is an app by Canva, so it should completely be integrated already with Canva. No sign up, no nothing here. Just click on Mockups and you are good to go. All right, let's find a mockup. So let's just browse all of the nice mockups here. Let's use this one right here. Okay, so we have this girl in the football field and she has a t-shirt which is a mockup. Okay, meaning I can drop any image. I can insert my image and drop it on this photo for the image to fill the mockup. All right, so let's go to my uploads right here. I kind of feel like I want to add something related to my face. So I could just bring that in, okay, and just drop it over the mockup. So what's going to happen is that Ronnie's face is going to just match the mockup right here. So with the mockup selected, I can click on edit and now I can access these extra commands right here that are the novelty. All right, so the first one is the fact that I can now freely resize and move that image freely wherever I want on that mockup right here. Okay, so the changes are not reflected instantaneously. Okay, you need to apply the changes if you want the changes to be applied. But now Canva lets me do pretty much what I want here. So a couple of buttons I can fill. So fill up the entire space. Okay, let's try that. Okay, not bad. I can make it fit, or I can smart crop. The smart crop is going to find the best positioning for my photo. Sometimes it will rotate the photo. So let's try that. Apply changes. Yeah, it's not bad. It just slightly rotated my photo so it looks maybe more interesting. So that's one of the first thing you can do. So these positioning, resizing options, alignment, flip. I can flip the photo if I want. Yeah, so you can have fun with that. And then the second new thing here is that you can change the color of your object. And I believe this works, at least for now, it works for apparel. Okay, so t-shirts, hoodies, stuff like that. It doesn't work with other type of merch or mockups of a phone or a computer. I've tried a few things before shooting this tutorial. It only works with clothing right now, okay? But still, it is a neat little option. So let's click here and let's try something, okay? I'm gonna click on the add color there is a color picker, which is a great news. So I'm going to try and grab the color blue here to see if this could blend in more seamlessly with the t-shirt. Okay, I need to apply the change. Yeah, I mean, it's not too bad. We can still see behind myself, like the background is still different from the color of the t-shirt. So I guess if I wanted to perfectly blend, I would need to find or to upload an image of me without a background. So there you go. I dropped a no background image of myself. Again, I'm going to go to edit. I'm going to smart crop this thing to find the best positioning, and I'm going to change the color of my shirt for yellow, apply changes, and there you go. I have no more background. This looks nice. And yeah, let me know if I should produce such a t-shirt. All right, guys, 2 more features to go. The next one is called Blur Brush, and it allows you to brush over your photo with a brush and add some blur to the image. All right, so let me show you how that would work. I need a photo first. So let's use this photo right here, which is another mockup I created with a cute little hamster character that I created with DALL-E. Let's say you want to make that person unrecognizable. Okay, you want to blur this girl's face because you want to preserve her identity. All right, so make sure you first click on the photo, go to edit photo, and find your blur effect. Okay, under the FX right here, find the blur, which is this one right here. So this will make the photo full screen. And now you can decide to either use a brush or add some blur to the entire photo. If you add blur to the entire photo, this is what's going to happen. Okay, the entire photo is going to be blurred out. But the novelty is that brush right here. So you can choose the size of the brush, okay, with the brush selected. You can go from 0 to 100 and add a lot of blur. So if I click here, there you go, I'm starting to blur that girl's face, like so. Now she's unrecognizable. You can also play around with the intensity. Okay, so I'm going to remove that blur with the remove blur button here at the bottom of everything. There you go. Let's add a lot of blur, like a maximum blur with the maximum brush. 1 click and boom. Yeah, you make that girl completely unrecognizable. If you really go hard on the blur, this is what it creates, which is not very nice. Okay, remove that blur. So you can play around with the intensity, with the size of the brush, and you can brush something else. For example, the hamster right here. Let's make the hamster blur. Okay, that's too much. So you can undo this by removing some blur, and then you paint over, you brush over to undo your blur. So this is a nice little add-on. The fact that you can now brush over your photos. I would recommend you go more subtle than me. Okay, so just add a little bit of blur. For example, the eyes here, you can do like so. I need to make sure I am on add blur, not just remove blur. So yeah, you can add some blur like so. You can scribble over and start adding blur. This is what it does. It adds blur. All right, guys, what do you think? I have one last feature to go, but before we get there, I wanted to ask you, what is your favorite new feature of this week? Let me know in the comments section. Also, make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, so, you know, all of that good YouTube jazz so that our video is being showed to more people. Also, don't forget, we have the join button. If you want to become a member of this channel, make sure you choose the Ronny option. We have 2 tiers. The Ronny is the one that gives you access to all of our courses, our live sessions, and our prompt library. So yeah, make sure you check that out under the join button, which is right here under the video. All right, back to the tutorial. Let's wrap this up. The last new feature for today is called Design Accessibility Panel. And this one is a very nice one because it will help you make your designs more accessible. Meaning to think about the people who maybe don't see as well as you see. Maybe they are colorblind, maybe they don't read very small letters. And so here Canva has baked in its editor a module that will let you know if there is some issues in terms of accessibility with your designs. All right, so let me show you how to access that. So this is the slide I'm going to be using as the example. So you can see I have a photo. I have 3 little capsule text boxes right here. One has a yellow background, another one has a light green background, and then we have a pink background. And then I have a very small text that is hard to read right here. So in order to access the accessibility panel, you need to first click on the little Canva assistant icon right here. You can either click on it or use your slash key on your keyboard. Okay, now me, I like to click on the icon and you start typing accessibility. Just access is good enough. You should see this, design accessibility. So click on that. Canva will be opening a panel right here and they should show you the different issues, the different accessibility issues you have in your entire document. Okay, so here it found a problem, an issue with typography. Okay, so I'm gonna click on that little arrow. It says small text size, increase the font size to 12 points. Okay, so that is my small text that is hard to read here. It is in size 10. So Canva recognized that this is an accessibility problem. Maybe people who will see this slide cannot read that small line. So the suggestion here is to increase the font size to 12. I can click here and Canva will make these changes for me. So there you go. Now the text box is at size 12. Okay, that's good. I can come back here and check out the other problem, the other issues. The second issue is a color contrast issue. I'm gonna click here. So it says there is a problem on page 9 and a problem on page 22 of this presentation. Page 22 being this page right here. I'm gonna focus on this page problem. So the first low contrast text, it says, it shows me first on the page what text we are talking about. So as I expected, these 2 first capsule text right here, the one with the yellow and the green background, have a very low contrast between the background and the actual text. And on purpose, I made the third one more contrastful, so shouldn't have that issue with the third one. So it says low contrast text. Low contrast text is hard to read for people with visual impairment or color blindness. So the current text color is white. So apply a suggested text color, and then it gives me 3 different colors. I'm going to go for this one right here. It changes the text color. I could also change the color of the background, but the easier of the 2 was to change the text color. And then I have the last issue right here, which is the same for this text box right here. I'm going to go with the black. Okay, should have gone with black here as well, but I can always change it here so it is consistent with the rest. So there you go. I kind of like cleared all of the color contrast issues for this slide at least. And now I have an alternative text issue. I have 23 issues on the document. So let's find the one right here on page 22. It says no alternative text, no alt text. Alt text helps people with low vision or blindness understand the content and the context of images. So you see this image right here. If a blind person looks at the document or comes across my Canva document, they cannot interpret what's on it. They might understand there's an image by clicking, and if their computer has the sounds on, they might be told that there is an image there, but they don't know what the image is. If I don't add an alt text attached to that image, that blind person cannot understand what the image is all about. So what Canva suggests here is that we add alternative text. So let's click on that button and it offers me a box here with 250 characters for me to describe that image. Be descriptive and add context to keep your alt text clear for people who use screen readers. Avoid emojis and try not to start with "this is an image of" to keep it short. And then I have this suggest for me button right here, which is one of Canva's AI features. I'm going to use that and let the AI read that photo. So a cat wearing a yellow sweater. All right, I'm going to save that. You could also make that photo decorative. Content purely for decoration doesn't need alt text. No, I'm good. I want people to be able to understand what my photo is about. So I'm going to save that. And there you go. I fixed fixed that one issue. There is now an alt text on that cat, and I can find it by using the contextual menu, click on alternative text, and now I can see a cat wearing a yellow sweater. All right, so that is very cool. I'm gonna close that panel and I'm gonna leave it here for today. I think this feature is really cool. I love that Canva constantly wants to focus on accessibility. And I remember when I was working at Canva, there was a lot of effort made for improving the product, improving the platform, make it more accessible for more people. This is really kind of baked in the Canva values to be an accessible platform, and I really love that about Canva. All right, guys, thank you for watching the 10 new features of today. All right, this was episode 35 of What's Hot in Canva. I'm gonna leave you with the link to the playlist of the other What's Hot episode. That is if you want to continue your Canva education. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video.